DACA decision results in protests.
Crime close to campus sparks concern.
And the Buckeyes prepare to take on Oklahoma.
That's all right here on Lantern News Now.
Thousands will be impacted by the White House's decision to repeal DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. The repeal will go into effect March 5th of 2018, and current work permits will be valid until their date of expiration. A 6-month delay will allow Congress to pass legislation which could result in the Dreamers being permitted to stay in the country. In response to the White House's decision, members of the community hosted a rally in front of the Ohio Union Tuesday evening to advocate for DACA students. Ohio State intends to protect DACA students and released this statement.
We are reviewing the action taken today and its potential impacts at Ohio State. Our university derives great strength from bringing together outstanding students from a wide variety of backgrounds to join and build our community. DACA students have overcome barriers, often against the odds, have been admitted to our competitive institution, and contribute greatly to our success.
On Wednesday, I spoke to a Dreamer who will be impacted by the repeal of DACA.
I have the religious connection, the cultural connection, everything, but it's like there's no physical. There's no that I know what it is to live there, what is the people actually go through, or it's just I only know from my experience of living in the U.S. from my parents or my relatives, and all I know is being an undocumented citizen in the United States of America. But that also doesn't just define who I am. I'm a student, I'm a regular person that hopes to one day become a professional. It doesn't define who I am.
We will continue to keep you updated on this story.
With the new school year underway, we spoke with USG President Andrew Jackson and Vice President Sophie Chang to learn more about what we can expect from their administration. During the discussion, Jackson and Chang addressed the repeal of DACA, as well as counseling and consultation services, wait times for students.
So it'll be a USG delegation, so myself, Sophie, and maybe 1 or 2 other members. And then with that, we will also be working with other Big Ten schools to craft a statement for while we're lobbying to act as one Big Ten collectively, so we have a larger impact, and that way we come together and we're representing I think around 500,000 students instead of just the 55 that we're representing here at Ohio State. So doing that, it allows us to have more strength in what we're lobbying for and talking to the congressmen and women about.
What we had been hearing from student feedback was that students were saying it was taking some of them up to 6 weeks to secure appointments. But having been an RA and an office assistant and a research assistant, I can say that it definitely depends on who calls in to get you the CCS appointment. If you call in and you triage within a week, sometimes depending on the severity of your condition, they may or may not see you within 1 week or a few weeks. But say a professor calls for you, a hall director calls for you, an RA calls for you, that's a completely different situation, because then someone has, it's serious enough that someone else is contacting CCS for you. So I know that in those situations, for example, if a hall director calls for you, generally you get in within 1 day or 1 week.
At about 6:45 p.m. on Saturday, a robbery occurred at the UDF on the corner of 12th Avenue and High Street. The male suspect threatened to have a handgun and demanded cash. We spoke to a UDF employee on shift during the incident, as well as a local business owner and students who live nearby.
So around 6:30, 6:40, gentleman came in the store once, walked around, didn't really buy anything, walked right back out. And then about 10, 15 minutes later, he came back in with the same clothes on, wearing a different color, or wearing a hat. And he went to the candy aisle and acted like he was gonna get something, but I saw him from where I was standing at behind the counter, messing with his little shirt right here or whatever. So he comes up to the counter and grabs a piece of gum like he's gonna buy it for 35 cents or whatever. The man that was working the register opened up his drawer, and as soon as he did that, he started asking for the money. He said that he had a gun on him, but he didn't show it. But we weren't trying to really take that risk. At first, we thought he was kind of playing around because he didn't sound serious, but then he tried to climb over the counter put his leg over the counter, and it was just like, at that point, we just followed our protocol and just gave him the money.
I was actually outside walking past the CDF when it happened. I didn't even realize because I was heading to a friend's house. And when I found out later that, like, from the email that we got, I just had, like, goosebumps and chills. And I didn't know if I want to tell my parents because I didn't want them to worry. And nothing happened to me, obviously, but it definitely makes me second guess, like, walking around, like, here at night and how late I'm going to go out, and if I go out, like, by myself, or how many people I go out with.
So I live like super close to UDF, so I like walk past it like every time I like leave my place or like come back. So it's like it's pretty frightening that because of the fact like I heard about it pretty instantly, because like one of my roommates was like, they get like the OSU police update, so we were like literally sitting in our apartment, and like this happened like while we were there, and we like got notified like 5 minutes later, and it was also like pretty early in the day, so it wasn't night or anything, so that's what was kind of scary.
Last Friday at about 9 a.m., an unknown male grabbed onto a female student's backpack near Woodruff Avenue and High Street. The male suspect claimed he had a gun, however, no weapon was seen. The student was able to walk away from the incident with the help of a passerby. No injuries were reported and no property was stolen. We will keep you updated on campus crime throughout the year.
Hurricane Harvey devastated southeastern Texas, impacting thousands. According to ABC News, as of Monday, September 4th, 60 people have been reported dead due to the hurricane. Student organizations like the Buckeye Mutter Club are hoping to help volunteers provide relief to hurricane victims. We spoke to Craig Martin, the club's president, about how his student organization is leading a helping hand to Team Rubicon, a veterans volunteer group. The team deployed 89 members to Texas to assist in relief efforts.
So we launched the campaign for Team Rubicon last Thursday. Our goal was to raise $500 within a week by this Thursday. We may extend that into the next week or so, but so far we have raised $195 of our $500 goal through donations from our club and also family members from our club. So it really speaks to the community that we have here on campus.
Another hurricane, Irma, is reported to hit land off the coast of Florida this weekend. Team Rubicon is expected to send veteran volunteers to Florida as well.
So what are you doing for the game?
My friend's gonna want to go to game day, but I think I'm gonna sit at home and just enjoy my big old pile of nachos and just relax and watch the game at home.
That sounds great. I know we're all looking forward to the first home game. Now let's throw it over to James and Alicia to hear what we can expect Saturday evening as the Buckeyes take on Oklahoma in the home opener.
Just 3 days before their top 5 matchup against Oklahoma, head coach Urban Meyer and the rest of his team addressed the media for the final time. The big thing to look forward to in this game, Ohio State's defensive line against Oklahoma's offensive line. That will be the matchup of the game, according to some members of the team.
They control the line of scrimmage, and they are one of the top offensive lines in the country. Very experienced. I want to say they had 7 guys that have started for them, and very talented big guys that protect their quarterback.
We're excited just because they're hyped up as the #1 O-line, and we've been hyped up as the best D-line for so long that it's starting to get annoying, but it's time to prove it.
The game on Saturday night should be a good one, so let's see what weather we can expect headed to the shoe.
Now, I'm meteorologist Grace Devine here to give you your weather. Right now outside, we're seeing a temperature of 66 degrees, and we have that low humidity outside, as well as the sun is not shining, so it's a bit chilly out there today. As we go into tomorrow, though, the temperature will remain the same, but we are seeing a slight chance of rain possible later in the afternoon around 2 p.m., but that may not happen. The humidity will go up, though, so it'll be a little bit more comfortable out there, but still on the cooler side. So this weekend, we are going to continue seeing the temperature stay quite cool in the upper 60s, both on Friday and Saturday. The sun will be out, though, so it's making for a very nice weekend. On Sunday, though, we'll start to see the temperatures go up back into the 70s, and we'll continue seeing those temperatures remain in the 70s as we go through next week. Now, you're mostly concerned probably on Saturday because that's the first home game here for the Buckeyes. So when you wake up on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., you'll see the temperature be at 60 degrees. Temperature won't go up too much more. The high is, like I said, 66, 67 for us at 2 p.m. on Saturday, and at night when it started to go into the game, it's going to be 60 degrees, and as you continue through the game and the sun goes down, which is aiming at 7:50 p.m., it will be going down into the 50s, so be sure to come prepared and bring a jacket with you. Overall, though, the temperatures this weekend are going to remain pretty cool, and it's going to be a mainly sunny weekend, which is great news. It's going to be perfect game day weather, even though it'll be on the cooler side, at least the sun is out. On Sunday, though, like I said, we'll see temperatures go back up into the 70s and continue through staying in the 70s through next week for a great week ahead of us. So enjoy your weather.
I'm Alicia Graves, and here are this week's upcoming games. Women's soccer will kick off a weekend doubleheader at home on Friday against number 16 Notre Dame at 7 p.m. They'll follow that up with a game against St. Joseph's at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Men's soccer will look to continue their winning ways against Northwestern on Friday and Illinois at 8 p.m. before coming back to Columbus for a game versus Penn State on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Women's volleyball will face off with Notre Dame and Coastal Carolina on Saturday at noon and 7:30 p.m. respectively in South Carolina. And of course, Oklahoma Sooners will be coming to town Saturday night to take on the Buckeyes. Kickoff is set for 7:30 p.m. ESPN College Game Day will be on the Oval Saturday morning at 9 a.m. So get up, Buckeyes. That's all I have from you for the sports test this week. Be sure to check back for our upcoming coverage of the upcoming games.
That's all we have for you this week on Lantern News Now.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Also, check out the Lantern on Snapchat for game day coverage.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.